This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Big Mom and Kaido, what's happened to them? Does the world need them? Do we need them? Does the story need them? Are their stories done? Is there anything else that needs to be resolved with these characters? It's a question that I've been thinking about for a while, just considering how massive a chasm is left after these characters leave the story and there's no explanation as to what happened or where they are or what's going to happen. By the end of Wano, Big Mom and Kaido, you were probably tired of Big Mom considering she was in Whole Cake Island and she had some very questionable moments in Whole Cake Island where people felt like, okay, Big Mom, I've had enough of you. And the thing is, the trend continued in Wano just because Big Mom is a force and Oda understands that. So just like Luffy, Oda has to somewhat reel her back because if he just lets her be her, then she'd be too devastating. From her not being able to kill Marco because she needs more souls, from her being a bumbling idiot versus Frankie, to her turning into Olin because, well, they needed her to be Olin for a while. This is who Big Mom has to be because Oda created one of the strongest characters in the story who is a legitimate monster who cannot be controlled by anyone and anything, and so the only thing that can stop her is how stupid she is. And so the only thing that gets in Big Mom's way is legitimately Big Mom. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say if Big Mom wasn't as big of an idiot as she is, she probably would already be the Pirate King or Queen, but she's silly, she's dumb. In One Piece and our own world, dreams matter. Look at Kuina's dream to collect the Matos. It's certainly going to need willpower. But the point here is for lofty dreams and goals, some aid is needed, and today's sponsor, Squarespace, could be just what you need. Squarespace is an amazing all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs and dreamers to stand out and succeed in the online space. It could be at the beginning of your journey or managing an established brand. Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website to engage with the audience or even sell products and even content. But that's not all. Imagine if Kuina used Squarespace to create a bounty website for the Mato. That would be through the help of Punk Records, of course, but this makes it at least attainable. Using 2 decades of design expertise, though, the AI technology is masterful at boosting your creative potential. Receive payments in just a few clicks and give your customers more ways to pay with methods like Apple Pay, even Afterpay. How do you do that? Well, you go to squarespace.com/B.D.A. law for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Like the fact that Big Mom had somewhat of a deal for Chiffon to acquire the Elbaf army, I'm like, Big Mom, do you not see Cinnamon? Do you not see Galette? You have this army on the line and this is who you roll out there? Is this your king? But we don't know the details of what went into that. But I'm just saying, Big Mom gets in her own way. But with her story, is it resolved? With Kaido, his story, for me at least, it feels very unresolved. You think about Kaido, you think about how the potential for an amazing villain was there. He had the strength, he had the charisma, he had the lineage, he had the backstory, he had the family trauma, the family problems, he had just the indecisiveness, he had the history with just a hero like Odin. Kaido had the makings of everything. He had the dialogue, right? Kaido had everything in his arsenal to be the top antagonist in One Piece. But where did it stop? What happened? Well, somewhere in the middle we got a backstory or a semblance of it. And it's disjointed because we got it in different pieces, different places. Kaido where he came from, Kaido who we met, Kaido's goals, Kaido's ambitions. There's still some there about where he exactly came from, like what he is exactly in that lineage, which he teased when he's talking to Yamato, saying she didn't know as much. But for the most part, we felt like there's something missing for Kaido. And the crazy part about it is that this thing missing probably leads to God Valley. We got a little bit of God Valley in the Kuma flashback. And in that Kuma flashback, Kaido seemed to be a huge fan of Roger. And well, we could surmise that when he basically said Roger was at the pinnacle. He brought the world to his knees basically through hockey. So he was just glazing Roger for a good reason. But for Kaido, how did that lead to him? Or how did he feel about loving or revering hockey as much as he did, but having a devil fruit? And then this goes back to Big Mom. We know that something happened where Kaido, his life was in danger, and Big Mom gave him that devil fruit that he had to save his life. And so for Kaido and Big Mom, their stories are intertwined. So for them both to be missing, I think in regards to their return, their stories are going to be intertwined again. So you're saying, Brago, how does this happen? Why does this matter? And is Big Mom and Kaido alive or dead? In my opinion, I think Big Mom is alive. I think Big Mom is alive. I think she'll be fine for the most part, but her story has to be resolved. resolved, in my opinion, for us to see. There's still things there about Big Mom that she needs to know about herself. Is this her death? Is this her final resting place? In the anime, it makes it feel very finite, but for Big Mom not to know what happened to her friends, for Big Mom not to know the damage that she's caused, essentially, it feels very unresolved to me. With Pudding, with Katakuri, her kids, and the fact that her kids were at the bottom of the waterfall this entire time, what was their purpose? Did they really leave Wano without their mom, tail tucked between their legs? How do you explain that to Katakuri? With Perospero Smoothie being there, how do you go home and say, we lost mama, we think she's dead, when some of the eldest and strongest kids are there? What? I think they took Big Mom back with them. Now for Kaido, we can wrap it up. I think it's over. Whatever we need from Kaido, I know his backstory, right? I don't have to say it. You guys already seen the meme. You know what it is. Anyway, I think it's over. I think there's nothing left that needs to be resolved on screen, and everything that needs to be resolved, or the closure that you would need, that comes through God Valley. When he meets Roger, ultimately what gets him hurt, ultimately when Big Mom saves his life, all these things can be shown beforehand. Kaido's, the hole that I feel when I think about Kaido, it all comes from his backstory. What got him to this place? Yes, wanted to die. He wanted to basically become the strongest. He felt like the only person that could beat him was Joy Boy, and that if somebody beat him, they would be Joy Boy. He was correct. I would have liked to see some semblance of realization with that. But something Oda said about villains, the reason why he doesn't kill him is because essentially when they lose to Luffy, it's like their dream being trampled. And something about a character and their dream, losing that dream is even worse than death. Well, let's say Kaido's dream was to die, to have an extravagant death, a death where everyone can see and everyone can champion him and saying, that's how I want to go out. Someone like Odin, sacrificing himself for his scabbards and dying for what he believed in. Even though he probably could have gotten out of there, he did it. And Kaido had no choice but to respect it. That's why Odin haunts his dreams now. Bro, he could smell Odin's haki and his sword from a mile away. That is not a slight to Zoro. I know people, they're going to jump in the comment section. That is not Odin's haki. Whatever it is, he could smell it from a mile away. He is traumatized by that man because that man went out the way he'd want to go out. So for Kaido, I think it's done because Kaido's dream essentially gets destroyed at the same time because you know what? He died the most underwhelming death you would want for a warrior. In the darkness, by yourself, with no one seeing it, and ultimately forgetting how you even died. If you ask someone, yo, how did Kaido die? I don't know. I just know he just got punched by Luffy and disappeared. That is the ultimate disgrace for someone as proud as Kaido and for what his dream was supposed to be. So I think it'd be perfect if the culmination of Kaido's death was in the lava by yourself at the bottom of the country that you were trying to take over. Well, ultimately you took over for decades. That's where you met your demise. But there's more, because I don't think the Bazran gun killed Kaido. I don't even think the lava killed Kaido. I think Kaido and Big Mom ultimately were in the lava. Both of their lives were in danger. And guess what happened? Big Mom went to Kaido and said, Kaido, you know you owe me a favor for when I saved your life. So to save my life, I need some souls to get out of here. And for Kaido, I'm going to assume his soul is worth a bit more than the average soul. So Big Mom in that lava took Kaido's soul to save herself, at least to float or get to the top of that lava so her kids could save her and take her back to Whole Cake Island. Or take her somewhere close by enough where maybe she could be an Elbaf herself, right? They didn't make it all the way back. She's an Elbaf recovering. And shout out to my guy Hidden Island because he had this thought that what if Big Mom that we see, because of her basically sacrificing her souls to save her life, using Kaido's soul to somewhat retain life, what if the Big Mom that we see is Little Mom? She reverts to just an old little lady like Bakken, right? That's how when you get old, you just get really short and small. So Big Mom turns into Little Mom. And that's who we see in Elbaf. But at this point, her being an Elbaf and not being the same strength, we don't have those issues where Oda has to save her. Now, it's straight character writing. It's strictly about how can we resolve Big Mom's story and bring it full circle. I would love that. And ultimately, that's how I feel about it. I think Big Mom is alive. And I think that'll be the perfect time to get her favor back in that lava with Kaido dying, saying, hey, this is how I get my favor back. This is how you repay me for saving your life. It's tough, but hey, they're pirates, right? Give me your thoughts, guys. How do you feel about Kaido? How do you feel about Big Mom? Are they both dead? Are they both alive? I mean, I think Kaido's dead, man. No need to bring someone like Kaido back, because if you bring someone like Kaido back, why would he not try to go after Wano again. Kaido's not a compromising person. He's a person that believes what he wants, he should go get it, and he deserves it. So for him to have an about face just because he lost, I don't know. I don't see it. But let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts, like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, follow me on Twitter, BRAGO DAs. Thanks to my patrons. You guys make all this possible as well. But I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.